I think the decision of who owns, first of all, I can't give a timeline because these are activities that depend on other people. Depends on NLC, depends on the ministry. I'm not the one who's producing the title, you know. So for those ones we've identified that would want the company to have the title, you know, we're working with NLC, we're amalgamating. For instance, the MD has told you there are many plots, parcels that were brought together, bought from many different people, to be able to create Ndakaine Dam. With respect to the provision of that Water Act, Chair, I would seek the guidance of the Senate, where you have assets that are jointly serving different functions. The one owner is the county government. But you'll find in that place you're providing housing for other officers in the county, or you're doing many other activities for the county. Do you transfer that then to the water company? Yet the company is owned by the county fully. There's no other shareholder. The 100% shareholder is the county government. So if you look at, you know, in law, it's neither here nor there. Because if the title is in the name of the county, and the county is 100% shareholder of the company, what are you safeguarding or what are you preventing? So long as there's a title. I think what's most important is to be able to conclude the process of getting these documents. And we've done it for many, not just the Nairobi Water, for our schools, for our markets, for all public land, for surrenders, around 789 parcels as a county government. So it's an ongoing process with the ministry. And if you direct that the expedite, we'll be very happy because you'll have helped us as a county government.
Senator Eddy.
Chair, I think on 2 and 3, with the county government, I think we have really tried as much as possible on these ownership things to be expedited, but it has been a problem. But I want to just more clarity on the Ndakaine Dam, because the auditor has been very explicit that the land has been encroached, including the construction of a recreational center. Who has encroached the land?
That's what I said. There's no encroachment there. That's what I was asking, how have they determined it's encroached when we're the owners and we're saying it's not encroached? You see what would happen? Somebody maybe would get 1 acre, a quarter an acre from somebody, isn't it? And amalgamate with another parcel from somebody else. The rest of your land as a neighbor, what you do there is not an encroachment. This is land that was bought from people who are in that area. So in the absence of a survey that you have not done the beacons, how do you determine this encroachment? Chair.
Is there a recreational center there?
Is there?
A recreational center?
Not on our land. Is there? On their own land.
But we cannot tell you the boundaries up to here. What was acquired, yes.
Do you have any activity going on your land? On what you perceive as your land?
No, not in Ndakaine.
So there is no any activity that is going on your land?
On the land we perceive to be ours, no.
Okay.
So you
don't have a land?
That's what I want to hear. How they determined that we've been encroached.
So auditor, what is the part 1 of this query saying?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I think is now they are saying the issue of boundaries, but when you go and look at the field now, you look at what is there, you think this one belongs to the land we believe belongs to Nairobi Water. But they have no title actually. Without a title, you cannot say where it reaches because there is no title at all.
So how do you then say as a matter of fact that our land has been encroached on? And
okay, that's what we saw, but we are querying land ownership because without that one, you cannot know whether they are in your land or not.
So you see, these are statements
It's a bit confusing. You know, there are 2 parts to it. There is the issue of lack of land ownership, which is in this case Ndakaine. But at the same time, you say it has been encroached on.
Is lack of land ownership documents. There is land ownership that they appreciate that they have got a piece of land or a parcel of land and Dakaini. That you agree, Governor, isn't it?
Of course.
What is not there is the documentation. My question is, Auditor, how did you get the access that identified that this land is owned by the company?
That's why now it's by being shown where the land is.
In the audit process, who showed you the land? Because this audit process, there's seven processes when you're doing the audit, right? There has to be an officer here who went and showed you that this is where the land is, and these are the beacons. This is how we identified. Was this done in the audit process?
No, we did not identify the beacons. It's like,
Yeah, and you know, I asked that question in another way, that your basis is the financial statements. The financial statements in the list of property, plant, and equipment, land is not included. Of ownership document for the land, which was not in the financial statement.
that came across when you were told. In the financial statements, and that should have been at the case we raised it not to disclosed. But again, they did not provide any document to say we have this land. They don't have any land.
I think that time is going. We are having this back and forth. Governor, just acknowledge that whatever is there, the education is called the educational center. Probably was identified by some local community members there. That's what I would guess, right? Could you just acknowledge that that is not on your land? Because it's not in this response here. Because it is explicit that there's an educational center on your land or on the area that looks like your land. So just be explicit and indicate that the educational center that is in query, if you know it, acknowledge and say that we know it, but it's not on our land. If you don't know it at all, also acknowledge that fact. Because remember, these are a people representative process. If Sifuna was here, he would take note of this, that is a people representative process. So as a representative, if I hear something like this, I want to help the county government regain their land. Because it's encroached. But if it's not encroached, that's also fine, but let it be acknowledged in the responses. The other ones, I agree with you, Governor. The land ownership on 2 and 3, I think we should not belabor. It's an issue that we always fight for. We need to help you have it fast-tracked. But on an encroachment issue, we should be on the same page, fighting from the same side. As people's representative, you and I should be fighting on the same side, right? So that if it's indeed encroached, we need to fight for it to come back. But if it's not, that's also fine.
Chair, you know, earlier I raised the issue of this quality of audit. You state matter-of-factly that land has been encroached on and there's a recreational center without having determined the extent of the land, the boundary of the land. I think that is that matter should be dropped because it is not a fact. How do you state matter-of-factly? You don't know where the boundary is of that land. You don't know where the last beacon is. But when you put it in an audit and it becomes a query, you have not asked the people there, is this part of your land? I think, Chair, there we must note that to be a problem. The amalgamation is going on, that process. And Chair, you must appreciate that what we are doing now is something that has not been done since 1994. There have been many administrations, there have been mayors, there have been governors. Now is when we're doing it. But they should work with us to determine such things. When even we responded, and that's what I've asked for, that for the response to that. we gave the same response to them. From what you've heard from the MD and from officers, there is no land that is encroached that belongs to the county government of Nairobi. That is the fact. In Murang'a County. In other places there could be, but not in Murang'a County. That specific one which has been pointed out about Nakaine. There's no encroachment in that land. In fact, I was there myself recently, and I keep visiting. Because we live with these neighbors of ours. They're neighbors. If you sell me half of your land, I can't say why your house is mine and it's encroached. So it will be nice to know who the complainant was, or who said it's been encroached, because that was not. I'd love to know. Because you heard the auditor saying they thought or they feel that that place is part of our land. Land is either it is or it is not. It can't be a feeling, and a feeling is not then reduced into an audit. Chair.
Okay, auditor.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to mention that this was an issue that was even reported in the year 22-23, and there are auditors who visited that area then with the company of the water company officers.